Hey, perfect humans! Have you ever wondered what's the connection between cat colors and cat personality? Actually, is there one? Take Vito, for example, my tuxedo cat with his classy black and white coat and that unmistakable mustache. Let's just say his name wasn't chosen at random. But is there actual scientific proof that his fur color really determines his personality? Well, it's complicated. While no study has definitively proven that fur color determines personality, some research suggests there could be a connection. A study from the University of California, Davis, surveyed cat owners and found that tortoiseshell and calico cats were often described as more feisty or strong-willed, something many cat parents might call tortitude. Meanwhile, black cats tend to have a reputation for being more laid back and affectionate. And before we go any further, Vito would love some feline company. So introduce yourself in the comments and tell us all about your cats. What are their names and colors? Let's dive into the 9 most common cat coat colors and what they might say about your cat's personality. Oh, excuse me. Vito insists we're skipping an important detail. Apparently, before we talk about personality, we need to answer a very serious question. How do cats even get their coat color in the first place? It all comes down to genetics. A cat's fur color is determined by genetics. Specifically, a combination of inherited genes from their parents. These genes control pigment production, influencing whether a cat will have black, orange, white, or a mix of colors. There are 2 main pigments responsible for coat color: eumelanin, which produces black and brown shades, and pheomelanin, which creates red and orange hues. The way these pigments are expressed depends on genetic factors, including dilution genes that soften colors into shades like gray and cream. And let's not forget the white spotting gene, responsible for those adorable tuxedo patterns. Now that we know where their colors come from, let's take a closer look at the 9 most common cat coat colors and what they might reveal about your cat's personality. Black cats. Black cats are described as mysterious, elegant, intelligent, affectionate, and wrapped in superstition. Black is actually one of the most common coat colors in domestic cats. On the other hand, completely black cats are rarer than you might think. If you take a closer look, many have tiny white hairs, mismatched whiskers, or paw pads that don't quite match their dark fur. So, what makes a cat black? It all comes down to a special pigment called eumelanin. If a cat inherits the dominant gene for eumelanin in full force, their fur turns jet black. This pigment also plays a role in their striking eyes, as most black cats have dazzling gold, copper, or green irises that add to their mystique. Now, let's talk personality. Some say black cats are more independent and laid back, while others describe them as deeply loyal and affectionate. Many black cat owners will tell you their feline companions love curling up on their laps and forming strong bonds with their humans. But why are black cats so often called mysterious? Well, studies suggest they tend to show fewer extreme personality traits compared to other coat colors. They're not overly feisty like torties, nor as chatty as some pointed breeds. Instead, they keep their cool, calm, observant, and always one step ahead, like tiny feline ninjas. White cats. The affectionate, independent, gentle, and elegant felines that look like they just walked out of a winter wonderland. Unlike black cats, whose fur is packed with pigment, white cats actually lack pigment, kind of like a blank canvas. Their solid white coat comes from a special gene called the dominant white gene. If a cat inherits just one copy of this gene, they'll have a white coat. But if they inherit 2 copies, they'll be completely white from head to tail. What's really interesting about white cats is that this same gene can affect their hearing. About 60% to 75% of white cats with blue eyes are either partially or completely deaf. And if they have one blue eye and one amber or green eye, there's a good chance they're deaf in just one ear. So that aloof reputation? It might not be about personality at all. Some white cats simply don't respond to sounds like other cats do. They're not ignoring you. They just might not hear you. White cats are often described as graceful, calm, and gentle. They tend to move with a certain elegance, as if they know they're a little extra special. Many white cat owners say their feline friends are affectionate and love attention, often snuggling up to their humans for warmth. However, white cats also have an independent streak. While they enjoy companionship, they can be a bit reserved, especially around strangers. Some are known to be a little shy or sensitive, which might be why people mistake them for being standoffish. Gray or blue cats. The cool, collected, and ever so sophisticated gray cats, sometimes called blue, because cat people like to be fancy. But did you know that gray cats are actually just black cats with a style upgrade? That's right, their coat color is actually a diluted version of black, thanks to a genetic trait called the dilution gene. It softens what would have been a deep black coat into that sleek, silvery shade we love. You'll find gray fur in many patterns, like tabbies, tuxedos, and even bicolor cats. But some breeds are famous for their solid gray coats, like the elegant Russian blue, the fluffy Nebelung, and the rare and charming Korat, all known for their striking green eyes and regal presence. And speaking of regal, gray cats certainly have a personality to match. They're often described as calm, reserved, and independent. The kind of cats that give off an, "I'll come to you when I feel like it." If you have a gray Persian, for example, you might have noticed they enjoy doing things on their own terms. Aloof? Maybe. Selective? Absolutely. But when they do decide to grace you with their attention, it feels like an honor. Don't be fooled by their dignified demeanor. Gray cats also have a mischievous side. They might be watching you quietly from a distance, but trust me, they're plotting their next sneaky move. Whether it's stealing your chair the second you stand up or batting objects off the table just to see what happens. Gray cats are smart, observant, and quick learners. They tend to be a little more independent, but when they bond with their humans, they form deep, lasting connections. They may not be the type to demand attention constantly, but when they curl up next to you, you know you've earned their trust. Orange, ginger, or red cats. The fireballs of the feline world. Orange cats don't just look like little rays of sunshine, they tend to bring just as much energy into a home. The ginger gene that gives these cats their fiery fur is linked to the X chromosome. Here's where things get interesting. Since female cats have 2 X chromosomes, they need to inherit the ginger gene from both parents to become orange. Meanwhile, males, who only have 1 X chromosome, only need to inherit the gene once. That's why about 80% of orange cats are male, while female ginger cats are much rarer. And here's another fun fact. You'll never see a solid orange cat. That's because all ginger cats have some form of tabby pattern, whether it's stripes, swirls, or spots. Even if their markings are faint, they're always there. Some well-known cat breeds that commonly show off this fiery coat include the British Shorthair, the Abyssinian, and of course, your classic domestic short-haired mischief maker. If you've ever met an orange cat, you probably already know they are some of the biggest extroverts in the feline world. People often describe them as social, outgoing, and a little bit, let's say, dramatic. It's like they were born to be the center of attention. They love being around people, enjoy playing, and some even have dog-like traits, following their humans around the house. But don't forget that ginger cats can also be independent and strong-willed. They don't always like to be told what to do, and if they're not in the mood for snuggles, they'll make that very clear. Ginger females, in particular, have a reputation for being a bit demanding. If you're enjoying this deep dive into cat colors and personalities, give this video a thumbs up. It will help our cat community grow. And let's be honest, the more cats, the better. Calico and tortoiseshell cats. Some of the most stunning and spiciest cats out there, these multicolored beauties have the looks of a masterpiece, and they are full of attitude. A calico cat wears a tricolor coat, typically a mix of orange, black, and white, though sometimes the colors soften into cream, blue-gray, or reddish-brown. But here's the catch. You can't breed a calico cat on purpose. Their coat is the result of a genetic roll of the dice, which means even a single litter can have one calico kitten surrounded by completely different colored siblings. Their fur patterns are as unique as human fingerprints, so no 2 calicos ever look exactly alike. Additionally, the calico coat is sex-linked, meaning that almost all calico cats are female. Male calicos do exist, but they are incredibly rare, only about 1 in 3,000. And most of them are sterile due to a genetic condition called Klinefelter syndrome. Now, let's clear up a common mix-up. Tortoiseshell versus calico. They're similar, but not the same. A tortoiseshell cat has a mix of black and orange fur swirled together. The big difference? Torties don't have large white patches like calicos do. If you see a cat with that classic tortie pattern but with white fur, then we are talking about a calico. And just to keep things interesting, there's also something called a dilute calico, or dilute tortie. Their colors are the same, but they appear in softer shades, like gray, cream, and peach, instead of bold black and orange. If you've ever met a calico or a tortoiseshell cat, you know they have a big personality packed into a colorful body. In fact, their attitude has an official nickname, Tortitude. That's right, torties and sometimes calicos are bold, strong-willed, and full of sass. They tend to be incredibly independent and aren't afraid to let their humans know exactly what they want and what they don't want. Some owners describe them as opinionated divas, while others say their calicos are playful and full of energy. But here's the thing. Beneath all that sass, these cats are incredibly loyal and affectionate. They form strong bonds with their humans, and when they decide to trust you, they'll shower you with headbutts, purrs, and snuggles. On their terms, of course. Tabby cats. A feline classic. They love interaction, enjoy playtime, and aren't afraid to demand attention when they want it. Whether they're striped, swirled, or spotted, tabby cats are one of the most iconic and widespread coat patterns in the cat world. But here's an interesting fact. All cats are genetically tabbies.
What?
Even if a cat doesn't look like a tabby, the tabby pattern is still hidden somewhere in their DNA. In fact, if you've ever seen a black cat lying in bright sunlight, you might catch a faint glimpse of their secret tabby stripes. The tabby coat pattern comes in a variety of colors and styles. The original tabby colors were black and brown, but as cats evolved alongside humans, they developed more flashy variations, including orange, gray, silver, and even cream. And of course, we can't talk about tabbies without mentioning their most famous signature trait, the mysterious M marking on their forehead. People love that M.
Ooh la la.
Some say it stands for mischievous, others say it means majestic. It has been even linked to various myths, from being a blessing from the Virgin Mary, a gift from an Egyptian pharaoh, or even a mark left by tigers as a sign of their wild ancestry. Because tabbies are so common and exist in so many breeds, their personalities can vary. However, many tabby owners will tell you the same thing. These cats are social, playful, and full of personality. Tabby cats tend to be curious, intelligent, and always up for an adventure. They have a way of inserting themselves into everything, whether that's knocking over a glass, climbing onto bookshelves, or inspecting the inside of a grocery bag before you've even emptied it. Many tabby owners also describe them as loyal and affectionate. These cats love spending time with their humans, and some even follow their owners around like little furry shadows. That being said, not all tabbies are the same. Some believe that their coat color plays a role in personality. Brown tabbies are said to be feisty and energetic, possibly channeling their wild ancestors. Gray tabbies are described as more relaxed, calm, and friendly. Orange tabbies are the extroverts of the feline world, full of charm and mischief. Color point cats, some of the most elegant, exotic, and talkative cats out there. These beauties have a signature look that makes them stand out. Light-colored bodies with dark accents on their face, ears, paws, and tail. But did you know that their fur color is actually controlled by temperature? It all comes down to a special mutation in the color gene that makes pigment production sensitive to temperature. The enzyme responsible for this, called tyrosinase, is inactive in warmer parts of the body, which is why these cats have lighter fur on their back and belly. But on their cooler extremities, their ears, face, paws, and tail, the enzyme kicks in, producing darker fur. And here's a fun fact. Color point kittens are actually born completely white. Their darker markings only start to appear as they grow, based on their body temperature. And another thing, these cats get darker as they age. So if you've got a little cream-colored kitten and you're wondering if they'll keep their baby-faced look forever, don't be surprised if they turn into a sophisticated, darker-toned adult. Some of the most famous breeds with this stunning coat pattern include Siamese, the original trendsetters of the color point world; Himalayan, a mix between Siamese and Persian; Burman, known for their sweet personalities and fluffy coats; Ragdoll, if you want a gentle giant; Tonkinese, a chatty, playful mix of Siamese and Burmese. Color point cats, especially Siamese and their relatives, are some of the most outgoing, social, and affectionate cats you'll ever meet. These are not the type of cats to silently judge you from across the room. They want to be right there, in your business, telling you their life story. They love attention, thrive on companionship, and some even follow their owners around the house like little shadows. However, don't let their affectionate nature fool you. Color point cats are also very independent and intelligent. They're quick learners, masters of manipulation, especially when it comes to getting treats. And some even enjoy puzzle toys or learning tricks. Now, here's an interesting thought. Some people believe the specific shade of a color point cat can influence their personality. Seal point, the classic color point, often seen in Siamese, Himalayans, and Ragdolls. These cats are confident, playful, and highly social. Blue point, known for being a little gentler and more laid back than their seal point siblings. Chocolate and lilac points. These cats tend to be extra affectionate and have softer, sweeter personalities. Tuxedo cats. These black and white beauties look like they're permanently dressed for a fancy gala, but don't let their formal attire fool you. Underneath that elegant exterior, these cats are full of mischief, charm, and big personalities. These cats are called tuxedos because of their distinctive black and white fur, which usually gives the impression that they're wearing a tiny, tailored suit. Tuxedo cats come in a variety of stylish patterns. Some sport a full black mask over their face. Others have a distinguished mustache, and a few even look like they're wearing white gloves and socks, making each one uniquely dapper in their own way. But don't be fooled by their formal look. These cats are far from serious. In fact, tuxedo cats are often described as the comedians of the cat world. If there's one thing tuxedo cats are known for, it's being highly intelligent. These cats aren't just clever. They are problem solvers, escape artists, and master manipulators when it comes to getting what they want. If you've ever had a tuxedo cat, you know they will outsmart you in ways you didn't think were possible. They're also known for being playful, confident, and full of energy. They love human interaction and will happily follow their owners around the house, supervise daily activities, and even learn tricks if they feel like it. And while some studies have suggested that black and white cats might be a little more independent or even standoffish, many tuxedo owners completely disagree. These cats tend to be affectionate, social, and full of charm when they decide you've earned their attention. Of course, one thing's for sure, tuxedo cats love to have fun. Whether it's chasing after a toy, zooming across the house at full speed at 3 a.m., or strategically knocking objects off the counter just to watch them fall, purely for scientific research, of course, these cats know how to keep their humans entertained. Tuxedo cats are also deeply loyal. Once they choose their favorite human, and yes, they get to choose, they form strong bonds and often become very affectionate. Some even act a little dog-like, following their owners from room to room and always wanting to be involved in the action. So, after all this information, what do you think? Do cat coat colors really influence personality? Or is it just a fun idea we humans love to believe? Well, my dear Vito, science isn't exactly on our side here. While so many cat lovers, including myself, swear by these personality trends, studies suggest that fur color alone doesn't determine how a cat behaves. Instead, a cat's personality is shaped by genetics, health, early socialization, environment, and past experiences. But hey, that doesn't mean we can't have fun with it. Maybe there is something to the idea that torties have sass, orange cats are chaotic, and tuxedos, well, they clearly think they run the world. Drop your thoughts in the comments, Vito, and I would love to hear about your cats. And hey, if you made it this far, here's a little bonus fact just for you. 467 custom-designed slides were created for this video. Yep, each one crafted by me with lots of love, more snacks than I'd like to admit, and a little help from Vito. Put the paw down, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to join our cat lovers community. And if you're as obsessed with all things feline as I am, don't stop here. Click on this next video and let's keep the cat talk going.